Hello, one and all. Thank you for rejoining us for the weekly recess as week one has come to a close and now we're on to week two. Connor, it's good to have you back. I'm Mitchell Lee, joined by Connor Vandermark, Brandon 2, Tommy Grant. Well, Tommy might join us at some point. He's known to just kind of pop in from time to time and just kind of talk about the Dolphins. But right now, it's the Jets
always.
fans running the show right now. And yeah, I don't want to make this particularly a Jets-centric show. However, I do think the Jets 49ers was one of the biggest games of the week, even for, just kind of neutral fans of the NFL. So, what was your takeaway from that game? Are you worried? Are you pressing the panic button? Where are you at?
So, honestly, kind of encouraged in a way. Hear me out. Like,
Okay, good. We're not gonna have to fight on this.
okay, because the fact that honestly, they ran the ball all over the Jets, San Francisco, that is, and what was it? Jordan Mason had 100 and something, 100, 200, 120 rushing yards, if I remember correctly, in a tight TD.
I think it was,
should have had two.
I think it was about 100. Yeah, it was about 130, 140, which is a lot for 2024 NFL.
Well, this has been an all running week.
Yeah, 147.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah. So one thing that I did really enjoy is hearing from the post game conferences from that, because let's be real, San Francisco did their job and took care of the Jets. That they were just another opponent to them. But a lot of the Jets players were made comments that, hey, if we want to be a championship contender, we got to be on their level. And it was nice to hear that recognition for that. And understanding there's still having Aaron Rodgers alone isn't what's going to win us a championship. There has to be other things that need to get done. So that was something that
the thing that really stood out. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The thing that really stood out to me, and I think we're on the same page with a lot of this, is obviously any Jets fan, any personally watching this game wanted to see how is Aaron Rodgers. And I think a lot of people are kind of just dismissing his performance as, well, he wasn't moving around a whole lot. And, well, first of all, I think the offensive line did a pretty good job in pass protection. And Aaron Rodgers usually gets the ball out pretty quick anyway. So nothing really called for him to do the wild, crazy escapability stuff. And you're right. He's 40 years old, coming off an Achilles. He is probably going to be able to, he's probably going to have to play a little bit more of a limited brand of football. But if there's any quarterback in the NFL outside of Patrick Mahomes that I trust to play that brand of football, it is Aaron Rodgers. Because oh, yeah, beat me with your mind rather than your athleticism. Okay, what is Aaron Rodgers going to have thrown at him that he hasn't seen before? So being able to see him develop the rapport with different receivers, obviously him and Lazard pick things right back up from Green Bay, because that's probably the person that he had the most chemistry with apart from Garrett Wilson. Mike Williams will get more playing time as they get him back in from a torn ACL. I thought the offensive line protected well, and they lost in a way that the Jets don't lose. And it reminded me a lot of when the Jets played the Cowboys early last year. And the Cowboys just torched the Jets. Passing, running. It was does this team still have a good defense? And then from there on out, they were just a top 5 defense across the board for the rest of the season. So I trust this coaching staff to get the defense right. And that's what lost the Jets this game. But also, this is the toughest game on the Jets schedule.
Oh yeah, and
it is. They don't play the Chiefs this year. They don't play the Lions. They don't play the Ravens. This is the toughest game on the Jets schedule, and it's already out of the way.
Yep.
And the next 4 games are Tennessee, New England, Denver, and Minnesota. There's a very strong chance that the Jets take on the Buffalo Bills in week 6 with a 4-1 record.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just not now. If the Jets go out and lose to Tennessee, or play incredibly sloppily against Tennessee, then I'm not just tapping the panic button. I'm smashing it.
The game
So
I'm worried about is
there's
the New
potential
England
for
game.
this to get volatile.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
New
as
England
worried
game.
about New England specifically.
I'll be at that game, and
You'll be at the game?
I'll be at the game, the home opener, and I am personally concerned that that game is going to be just a mud fight, and I'm not looking forward to that personally.
But personally, as someone that watched the game from start to finish, my biggest takeaway had nothing to do with the Jets, and it was, man, the 49ers look really good.
Oh yeah,
The 49ers just, they might be the best team in the NFC all over again, and if they play the way that they did against the Jets, they could win a Super Bowl. It's just a matter of, can you play like that against the Kansas City Chiefs? And, we'll see. Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs and Ravens was a fantastic opening game. I thought that Xavier Worthy really added a lot to that Chiefs offense, and they had more weapons this time around with Xavier Worthy and a much more they had Rashee Rice last year, but Rashee Rice in week 1 wasn't really a big part of that offense. He was a huge part of the offense this time around, and the Chiefs look like they're ready to go at it again, but the Ravens, Lamar Jackson just wouldn't go down without a fight and kept bringing him back into that game to the point where if Isaiah Likely just had smaller shoes, Ravens could have won that thing.
No, that was a fantastic game, and like that's what I'm expecting. Like, no, Baltimore is definitely on my front runners of them going to the Super Bowl this year, because honestly, I've seen what the Bengals did last this week. I was like, that did not look good at all. But like the Baltimore, they have everything they need. Like the one thing I worry about Baltimore is that they don't really have a true deep threat. They're great intermediate passing. No, now with because let's be real, like though Mark Andrews was getting smothered by that defense by Kansas City. Like the Kansas City's game plan was don't let Mark Andrews beat you, and that was true.
Yes, which I don't think that was the right game plan, considering the fact that Andrews was coming off. He was in a car accident a few weeks ago, and so I don't think he was really at 100%. And I don't know why their game plan was so Andrew-centric, but you're correct.
I don't blame them, honestly. To me, yeah, you can throw as many spies as you want on Lamar Jackson. They ain't gonna matter. It's more so the fact that I'm not a huge Zay Flowers fan currently. He is not. I know this is his second year playing, but like out of his rookie season, there was nothing that really excited me. Like he's not someone he's not a yak guy, yards after catch. He's not someone who is going to, what's the best way to put this? He's not going to torch someone down the field or get that separation. At least like sometimes he does, but like it's not like a Tyreek Hill or someone where he's a ball battler like a Robinson was back in his heyday. He's just like he does this thing, he does it fine, and he's a good player. I'm not saying anything bad about him, but I don't think he's one of those like X factor players. Where honestly, Isaiah Likely, who Baltimore finding another great tight end, no, he was the main difference maker in my opinion. Like if Likely wasn't in this game, then I can definitely see this be a lot more lopsided affair.
And we are joined by Tommy Grant, who I figured would come in at some point. Tommy, your Dolphins were one of 2 teams to just have games completely handed to them on a silver platter. The Miami Dolphins and the Chicago Bears were 2 teams that definitely should have walked out of week 1 with losses. Chicago was just, Will Levis, here you go. Here's a pick 6 for you, and the Bears are more than happy to take it. Tommy, Travis Etienne was walking into the end zone ready to take the Jaguars up 24-7, and then he just fumbles the ball. They throw a deep pass to Tyreek Hill, then fumble the kickoff. And just like that, it goes from, wow, the Jaguars are going to win this game by 2 or 3 possessions to how is Miami suddenly going to win this game?
It's the Miami luck. I don't know how else to explain it.
I don't think that's a thing.
I don't know. Because I agree, they should not have won that game, and they got extremely lucky. And I don't think that luck is going to carry into week 2 against the Bills. As much as I don't want to jump on the Bills bandwagons now that I live here in Buffalo, I don't see them coming out anywhere near as close as they did with the Jaguars. I think it's going to be a slaughter.
Well, especially, the Dolphins just couldn't run the ball against Jacksonville, which was very weird to me. Luckily they were able to get the ball into Achane's hands through the passing game. He had 7 catches for 76 yards and, wasn't completely taken out of the game, but things might get very rough.
And it's interesting because the Dolphins have a strong offensive line between Achane, Waddle, and Hill.
Oh, you mean like the weapons?
Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of what they're able to either throw or run the ball with, they have great players, but it didn't look good that game.
Because I think the Jaguars are better than people give them credit for.
Yeah.
But the Dolphins, they also very much seemed like a young team that didn't know how to win, and I don't think the Jaguars are quite as youthful as people. They should be past the knowing how to win football games and close stuff out.
Which is a little unnerving for me because all the weapons, they were all there last season. They had a strong season last year. They shouldn't be coming into the season looking as weak as they did.
And now you have people hurt because you go into a Thursday night game against the Buffalo Bills, and Mostert's not going to be playing.
Nope.
Achane is a game-time decision.
Which is really not good because I've got him on my fantasy team, so I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with that one.
I have him on a fantasy team as well, but it's a much more loaded team. For reference, I had him on my bench last week and still won comfortably. But hopefully I could play him. Hopefully I could play him this week. But before we get into week 2, Connor, was there a team from week 1 that stood out to you positively or negatively? Whatever side of the coin you take, I will take the opposite.
Well, honestly, the one team that did shock me is Pittsburgh still competent? Like,
yes.
If they figure out an offense, that could like that game in general, Kirk Cousins did not perform as he expected. There were still concerns of his injury, of like, oh, he's not throwing into the ball as hard as he was. At the same time, Pittsburgh's defense is, TJ Watt is an animal. I was like, seeing the highlights at NFL Red Zone, just him blowing guys up, blowing Kirk Cousins up, and like he was creating his own chances. They were all over the ball, creating turnovers. And let's be real, like Justin Fields was not supposed to start this game, and for what it's worth, he did fine as a quarterback. But for Pittsburgh's defense, fine might be all that you need. So I'm interested in that team right now.
I'm not quite as high on them as
you
are at the moment. I think that the thing that I came away from that game with is Kirk Cousins might be done.
Yeah.
Maybe the Penix pick was better than people expected because Cousins and Rodgers got 2 different Achilles surgeries, and it's looking early like Rodgers got the better one.
Can we also mention that the Steelers only won
with field
goals? That's it. No touchdowns.
Which is also why I'm not sitting here going Justin Fields, he's the man.
I'm all for rooting for the Steelers. I'm not either. I don't know that.
It's more so the fact that like this was a game that I didn't think I had high hopes for the Atlanta Falcons, and that was pretty much snuffed out after this game, where Pittsburgh was just dominant. Like, yeah, they didn't score a touchdown, but they were just dominant overall. Like that was their game to lose every single bit of it on the road.
All right, well, you went with the positive angle of things, so I'm gonna go more negative, and maybe I should have seen this coming. Maybe I should have
The
known.
dumpster fire that's Carolina.
But holy mother of God, were the New York Giants bad?
That too.
I
I
mean,
did not expect the Giants
hasn't
and
been
the
much
Panthers
change.
both.
There hasn't been much
But-
change from last season. They're still sucking.
But the thing for me that was surprising was the fact that they made the trade for Brian Burns and it just nothing came of it. I know the Vikings have a good offensive line, but I figured, you know what, if the Giants have a strength, it's their front seven. And I think that at the very least they're going to be able to stop the run and they're going to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. And that just didn't happen at all. And I've never been one of the biggest, like, Daniel Jones sucks, boo. Like, I think that Daniel Jones has a limited skill set, but I think that if you keep things in that sandbox, he can operate in it. And maybe I'm just wrong. Now, I think that people calling for Drew Lock haven't watched Drew Lock play much football because he is not better. But things are bad. And then the Panthers, it's just, like, was there a positive? I just don't think there was.
That was just doo doo. Like, I was at least hoping for a little bit of improvement, especially in New Orleans, where it's like they're a good team, but like they're not like barn burners. And the fact that they hung up 47 points on them is
47
insane to me. Like that, there was like, but the thing is, like,
Yeah.
I feel like the game was even worse than that score.
The game was over very quickly, and between it was a rough weekend for North Carolina football fans because I have a lot of Panthers friends that are Panthers fans that are also Appalachian State football fans, and they got crushed, just absolutely demolished by Clemson. But also the same with NC State fans that are Panthers fans, and Tennessee beat them by like 40 points. So it was just a
Yep.
bad week all the way around. But hey, it's a good thing that UNC basketball is about 2 months away because sure as hell don't have a professional basketball team. So gotta root for the college athletics because yeah, the Charlotte Hornets let's just pretend they don't exist. Let's move things over to week 2, that Thursday night football game, Bills Dolphins. I've got the Bills winning this one. I just think that Josh Allen this season is going full on, put the Superman cape on. I'll do this myself. And it's been really fun to watch after 1 week, and I don't think it's going to stop in week 2.
I fully agree with that one. He was a lot of fun to watch against the Cardinals this week. And again, as much as I want my Dolphins to win, I definitely see him just laying over the Dolphins and just demolishing them this week.
You also
And
have to
honestly-
be pissed because the whole thing about the Dolphins is, hey, we get the September games. It's 1 o'clock. It's like 1,000 degrees on the sideline. That's our advantage. And this game is being played at nighttime when it's cooler.
They have everything stacked against them. And again, with you also saying the fact that half their players are injured this week. So I just don't see any sort of positive outcome happening this week. Maybe we'll get lucky, but I don't think it's going to happen. And again, with
Yeah.
Josh Allen putting on the Superman cape, I mean, literally leaping over people into the end zone. I mean, come on. You don't see that much from quarterbacks.
Hey, I would say this: the Bills, after that hard start that they had, against Arizona, where Arizona looked very good, both the offense
Yeah.
and defense decided to wake up and to really turn on. And Josh Allen just like, it's my game. You play by my rules.
Yeah, I mean,
Are you taking the Bills?
Oh yeah,
for For me or Connor, yeah. I think we're both. I think we're all unanimously going for Bills this week. But
All right. Saints Cowboys. How much do you buy into the Saints after that win against the Panthers, or are you dismissing it completely because it was the Panthers?
I'm just dismissing because of the Panthers. They just look terrible. They have not
Non-factor.
improved a single bit since last season.
Non-factor. Prove it to me.
All right, so we're all on. I'm not necessarily dismissing it, but if you want to be taken seriously, I need to see, even if this is a close game and Carr plays well and the offense is moving, I think that'll be enough for me to take the Saints more seriously. But yeah, I just have to see it against a professional outfit.
Cover the spread, we're talking.
Browns, it's 6.5.
Yeah.
I think that is definitely in play.
Yes.
Browns, Jaguars. We want to talk about disappointments in week 1. Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. Just awful. Is there any hope for the Browns to redeem themselves on the road against Jacksonville?
Yes, but
I think this might be one of the closer games of the week. Jaguars were looking really good against the Dolphins. Browns still did fairly well, but they didn't put their best foot forward this week or last week. So I think it might be one of those close games.
Okay, but who are you picking?
I'm on the fence. I can go either way. I think I might go Jaguars.
You can't pick both teams.
I'm definitely not picking both teams. Can't do that.
So you're on Jacksonville?
I think I'm going Jacksonville this week.
The other thing that hurts with the Browns is that Njoku is also injured as well, and he's a big factor of that offense. Because what's real, they really have Amari Cooper and Jerome Ford, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm on Jacksonville as well. I like the Browns team, but Deshaun Watson is so bad.
It's funny how bad he is.
I can't. He is so bad that, he's not even playing at a mid-level backup level. Like, he is playing like if his name was Bob Jefferson and he had no name, you'd be like, this is the worst quarterback ever. He's not going to be in the league very long. And the only reason why he's still starting is because of that contract. Otherwise, it would be Jameis in there immediately. Bucks, Lions.
Give me crab legs, baby.
Both of these teams looked fantastic.
I'm going Lions.
Yes.
Lions get it done.
Same here.
But this is another one where when it comes to Tampa, it's not a perfect game. Very much like New Orleans, where, let's be real, the Commanders' defense isn't anything spectacular. But if our boy Baker Mayfield decides to put up another 4 touchdowns against a very respectable Detroit defense, I'll be buying in a lot more to them this year.
If Baker plays similarly, even if the numbers are different, but if he plays with the similar confidence, throwing the ball down the field and keeping up with the Lions, I'll be right back in on Tampa. But I just can't. I don't think that Tampa has the bodies, apart from Vita Vea. They're injured to hell and back on the defensive line right now, or the defense in general. So I think the Lions are going to be able to do what they want to do on offense. 49ers and Vikings, Sam Darnold revenge game, ? I think San Francisco, just they're on a roll right now, and I don't think Minnesota can stop them.
Yeah,
I don't have much to add on that one.
Seahawks, Patriots, both teams getting a win. I think that the Patriots kind of got a little bit of that Bengals slow start. That's just what the Bengals do. I don't really buy into the Patriots as hey, they're good. So I've got the Seahawks winning this.
I honestly think that this game is going to be another one that's going to be closer than people expect. Especially if Kenneth Walker's out. Kenneth Walker's not playing this game. I think New England actually has a shot. Because I do think New England's defense is good. And let's be real, Seattle's offense did not look spectacular against Denver last week. Like I know Sertan shut down DK Metcalf, but like still, like this could be a situation where this is going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, I've got Seattle winning this one. Giants and Commanders.
Garbage.
Who are either of these teams rooting for their team to win at this point? Especially the Commanders might, because they want to see their young quarterback do well, but Giants fans might already be rooting for losses.
I think they are. And I honestly, I'm taking the commies in this one.
I'm taking the Giants because I just don't think I for one, I think the Giants defensive line is going to do what I expected them to do last week, because the Commanders offensive line is not good. And I think that Daniel Jones will be able to do better. The Commanders just don't have a defense. They don't have an offensive line. Really, their entire team right now is just, hey, Jaden Daniels, if your first read isn't immediately open, head down, run the ball. And he's like 106 pounds. So good luck with
And
that
honestly,
working for a long term.
Again, this is not long term though. This is just one game, and honestly, it probably was going to work against the Giants, and I can easily see that happening. Like the Giants do not, they are. I have even with their weak defense, I still can see them causing issues to the Giants, and like who else they were like Sam Darnold carved up the Giants defense. That says something.
Yeah, but also that team has weapons. That team has a Justin Jefferson. They have Aaron Jones in the backfield. And they have a good offensive line. The Commanders don't have any of that.
Hey,
I'm not saying the Commanders can't win this game.
Don't shave Austin Eckler. He's still kicking around.
No, he's not. So, yeah, I'm going the Giants on this one. Tommy, Giants, Commanders.
I'm gonna have to go Commanders on that one.
So I'm on an island when it comes to the Giants. I'm picking them again, and that's probably a bad decision. Chargers and Panthers. This
is that even a question?
I feel like there's a chance the Panthers could win this game because of the cross country travel, and I don't buy the Chargers the same way other people do right now, but I am picking the Chargers.
All right.
But it's gonna be close.
Let me ask you this, just for shits and giggles. Do you think there's any team right now off of week 1 that the Panthers could beat? With the exception of the Giants, because I think Giants is probably the one team they'd be neck and neck.
Washington.
Yeah.
Maybe Vegas.
Okay.
Vegas is going to be my pick, or Denver.
Yeah, Denver. I don't know. I like Denver's offensive line, and I like their front seven enough. I just
think
Bo Nix was atrocious.
Because the Panthers won what, like 2 games last season?
Yeah, and one of them was against C.J. Stroud and the Texans.
Okay. So.
Colts and Packers.
I forgot about that one.
It looks like Malik Willis is going to get the start for the Green Bay for the Green Bay Packers in this one, and so as long as Malik Willis is starting, I'm taking the Colts.
Yep.
I flipped the coin. I'm going Packers, just because I like them slightly more than the Colts.
If Love was in, I would say Packers, but because Love's not in, I have to go Colts. That Jada Reed's gonna get a lot of balls thrown at him, but that's about it.
Jets Titans. I think the Jets recover and rebound nicely, and I think they force Will Levis into a lot of mistakes.
Now, do you think Rodgers will be starting this week, or are they going to continue with Taylor?
What?
They had Taylor clean up the mess at the end of the last game
because they want to get hurt.
And they make a little bit of
because it was out of hand. That tends to happen at the end of games that are like routes. Yeah.
No, that's normal.
No, Rodgers is definitely starting the game.
Okay.
Yeah, Jets will win that. Their defense is just too good, and then they're going to probably honestly after the awful throw that Mr. Mayo Levis threw for that pick six. I'm like, ooh, that's just a bad quarterbacking play right there.
Yeah. Raiders and Ravens. I mean, this one just Ravens. No second thoughts on that. That's pretty clear cut. Rams and Cardinals could be interesting. Stafford played well against the Lions, but the front seven gave up just a ton of rushing yards in overtime. Puka Nacua gonna miss a lot of time. I've got Arizona winning this game. The offense looked a lot of fun against Buffalo, and this is going to be a game with a lot of points.
Arizona.
I'm going Rams.
I think Arizona is actually going to be. I think they're actually going to turn on this game. I think they're going to like win by 5.
Kyler's fun, man. Kyler's I think maybe the most underrated player in the NFL right now. Bengals at Chiefs. I know everyone's expecting Burrow Mahomes to be just a shootout close game. I think this is a rout. I think the Chiefs win this one handedly. T. Higgins didn't practice. I've got the Chiefs winning this one easy.
Same here. Yep.
Bengals are a sound the alarms situation for me.
Steelers Broncos. I saw what the Steelers did last week to Kirk Cousins, and they're playing Bo Nix. Yeah, give me Pittsburgh.
Same here. No argument here.
Steelers.
Bears Texans on Sunday Night Football. Caleb Williams got the win, but he also threw for like 93 yards and didn't look particularly good. Meanwhile, CJ Stroud and the Texans, huge game against the Colts. Joe Mixon had over 150 yards rushing. I am very tempted to take Chicago here because I think that this is the Caleb Williams kind of coming out party, so to speak. But I'm not picking against the Texans in this one. I think they have too many options on that offense, and it's going to be tough to stop them. Give me the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I'm going chalk here as well. Like, honestly, I'm shocked how well Joe Mixon's playing. I kind of doubted him this year because I thought that with the Bengals that he was just going to be, not like, because with the Bengals he was not a very good rusher from his history with them. But like I didn't see him as a complete upgrade to their running back core, and the fact that he just ran all over Indy, that was something that I was very impressed by, and I hope he keeps doing it because that would be great for him.
Yeah, I got the Bears on this one. I think they might. It's definitely going to be a close game. I think the Bears might surprise us this week. Yeah, it's a flip of the coin for me.
All right, Monday Night Football, prime time Kirk Cousins. So it seems very clear to me, Falcons, Eagles, and also just watching the two teams last week. I know the Eagles had some problems, but overall they were able to make things happen. Give me the Eagles.
As lived in Eagles territory for a short while, I feel the need to root for the Eagles.
You don't have to.
No, but I think I'm gonna in this one.
Eagles.
I live in Panthers territory. I can't root for two teams that drain the mental health. Sorry, the Jets already claimed that territory, so Tommy, you don't have to do that.
The Jets are a lifelong condition.
That's true. That's true. They are. Well, also, just a quick update on how things went for week 1. Tommy led with 13 correct picks.
That's right.
And I came in last. Brandon and I were bringing up the rear. This kind of just feels like the March Madness brackets where, Brandon and I are like scouting each team, and Tommy's just like, hey, you know what? I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I'm going with my gut decision.
Yeah. So that's what won the day. Brandon and I kind of galaxy brained things, whereas Connor, Nick, you each got 12. Tommy, you got 13. So let's see if you can hold on to that lead.
That's also
going into week 3.
Week 1 luck, it's Now we got a vibe for how everybody's actually going to perform, and I think week 2 might be the opposite, where I get a lot of things wrong and you guys get a lot of things right. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, for Connor Vandermark and Tommy Grant, I'm Mitchell Lee. Thank you for listening to the Weekly Recess here on Jersey Nerds Productions, and we'll talk to you next week, let you know how everything went and what we expect from a interesting Week 3 slate. I'll say that.
You got 8? You got 8 last week?
Yeah.
Damn. I'm looking through it now. I'm like, oh, shit.